myself beneath the stone. Somebody told me don't pretend, 'cause everyone could use a friend sometimes.
I am now frying up the beef for the Mongolian beef. So I'm going to get this going into a nice brown. And then I'm going to let this boil for about an hour and a half in some broth. Once it's all browned, I'm going to get a nice sear on it. Once this is fried up, I'll show you what's the next step. So all I had is vegetable broth, which will be fine. So I put this down on low now, and I'm just going to add this broth. So I'm going to add the whole box here. And I'm going to keep this right on the stove top. And I'm going to put a cover over it and just let it simmer for an hour and a half. I am also going to scrape up all the goodness off the bottom of this pan. There. Now we won't have any burning going on. So now we wait. Okay guys, I'm almost forgetting to show you my recipe here, but I'm doing a double batch kind of, so I've got 2 of the 1/3 cups in here. I've got a tablespoon of ginger, 2 tablespoons of garlic, minced garlic, and that's what's in there so far. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. It calls for a half a cup, and even though I'm doubling this, I'm still only going to put 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in here, because that's a lot of, we don't like it that sweet. So we're going to work on just doing it this way. And then I'm also going to add some, it doesn't call for this, but I'm going to add some hot pepper flakes in there. Just a little bit. And my beef is super tender. I had it boiling in here for about 2 hours, so you can see how tender that is. I'm going to strain this out, most of it. I'm going to leave some of it in here though. I'm going to leave like a 1/4 cup in here, because it did call for a 1/4 cup of water, and I'm going to use this broth instead. So I'm going to drain this out. Drain that out. I'm going to turn my pan back to medium high, and I'm going to just crunch up these. I like the meat in small pieces, so I'm just going to chop this up here. Usually it says to fry this up and have the browning bits at the bottom, but I'm okay with doing it this way because I did brown it beforehand, and we really like our meat soft and tender, which is why I let it just boil for a while. Added a teaspoon of the beef better than bouillon because I did not add any seasoning to my meat, so it's really bland right now, and adding this in there will help cheer that up a little bit. The pan's starting to get nice and hot now. So we're just going to do this. We're going to add a little bit of this back in. I took out 1/3 of a cup of this liquid. I'm probably going to go totally off recipe here because all they have in this thing is garlic, ginger, and soy sauce. And to me, that's just not enough. It won't do the trick for us. So I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of that in there now. Oh, and the brown sugar too. So just those few items is what is in here. So I'm going to also add just a dab of this chili oil. A couple sprinkles of that in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add this sauce to it. And like I said, I used a lot less brown sugar. In fact, some of it even stayed on the bottom there. So we're going to go with that. Smells good. I love the soy sauce smell in here. And then I'm going to look around and see what else I can add. I'm going to add just maybe a teaspoon of the Hoisin. Mix that up in there. I think that should be good. And I'm going to get my cornstarch mixture here. It does say also to add a 1/4 cup of canola oil. I am not going to do that, of course. And then we're going to add the cornstarch mixture, and that's it. So now we're just going to add, I just put cornstarch in some water in there. Just going to add that in. Give it a quick stir. And there it is. Simple meal. And I'm going to just remove this from the stove and leave it sit while we make our rice. And like I said, this is going to be for tomorrow's dinner. So I hope I was recording that because I'm recording now and I thought I just shut it off. But anyway, if I wasn't recording that, all I did was add some cornstarch and water to this. With 1/3 of a cup, I put 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and then the rest with water. Or you can use the broth from this as well. And I just threw it in there and stirred it up and it got nice and thick. So we're going to make the rice now. Hey guys, this is really salty. So my recommendation is not to add the better than bouillon because I forgot that this was not low sodium soy sauce, so it made it extra salty. But I'm hoping that over the rice it will be just fine. And I did add another tablespoon of the brown sugar because it needed a little sweetener in there. But that's perfect. 3 tablespoons is perfect, I think. So I'm hoping with the basmati rice, it will take away some of that saltness and we won't need a whole lot on there. And I'm going to make some steamed vegetables with this too, some broccoli. So that should help as well. And I won't salt the broccoli. I'll just let it soak up with this. But definitely this is really, really good. It's just a little too salty. So like I said, just stick with no better than bouillon. And I think it'd be perfect. Okay, this is the basmati rice that I use. And it's just white basmati rice. This is cooling off here. I do have my rice cooking in there. So I'll bring you back when all this is done and let you know how this soaks up the salt. I think I'm going to mix it all in there and give it time to soak up that sodium. 20 minutes later, our basmati rice is done. I love basmati rice. It's not sticky at all. It's just really bouncy, I guess, is what I would call it. But it's really good. If you haven't tried basmati rice, you should give it a try. Okay, we're going to try this one-handed here. I don't have my tripod handy, but I'm going to just throw some of this in here. And I'm going to mix it up. I'm not going to throw it all in right away because I want to make sure that it's not overloaded. Ooh, I got sugar all over that fork. Have to wash my hands yet again. Okay, so I'm going to just mix this up. That's good. And probably by tomorrow, it'll be even better. I did add the rest of that rice in there just because, I mean, why not? Nick's going to give it a whirl. We'll see what he thinks of it.
Tastes pretty good.
Good. He likes it. Too salty or is it okay? No, he doesn't think it's too salty, so.
I do like extra salt on stuff.
Yeah, he is a salty person.
Love soy sauce, so.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to call this good. So this is basmati rice. This is, what is this? I don't even remember. Well, let's look at the paper. This is Mongolian beef. That's the ingredients here. I use just a cut up roast. You don't have to use flank steak. And I did not use olive oil. And I did not use a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Oh, we're going to put scallions on top tomorrow as well when me and Corey eat some. But that is Mongolian beef over basmati rice, or in my case, mixed in basmati rice. Okay, guys, that Mongolian beef was super good, except for it was extra salty. Even my son, after taking a few bites of it, he said, oh, I guess this is pretty salty. So if he thinks it's salty, it's pretty salty. So I definitely have 2 recommendations to do differently than I did, is use this low sodium soy sauce and do not add the better than bouillon at all, because I think it would have turned out much better that way and not as salty. So give that a whirl because it was super tasty. I'll let you know tomorrow how it turned out because we're going to have it for dinner tomorrow. And after it sits in that white rice for a while, it may be a little less salty, I hope. We're going to eat it anyway, and then, you know, I've learned a lesson. So we will try it differently next time. And if you guys try it the other way without the high sodium soy sauce or the better than bouillon, let me know down below in the description box and let me know if it tastes salty or not. Other than that, we really liked it. Nick enjoyed it a lot. He would definitely eat it again with a little less sodium this next time. But I really like the recipe. I will post I will link where I got the recipe down below in the description box. Be sure to check that out if you are interested in this. Like I said, I didn't add the oil. I only added 3 tablespoons of the sugar, and it called for a half a cup, which would have been, because I doubled the soy sauce, it would have been a whole cup of brown sugar. That's a lot of brown sugar. We don't like anything that sweet, so we really cut the sugar down on these things a lot when they call for that much sugar. It doesn't need it. 3 tablespoons was perfect. It just had a little taste of a little tiny bit of sweetness, and that was good. That was perfect for us. So anyway, give this a try. Let me know if you try it down in the description and how you liked it. We'll be back for the next cook with me. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye guys.
You can't turn the tide. Let the water go where it wants.